if but here's the thing too, you know, her stuff is there. Like 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 if she's like a porn star, like her things like she did in the past, people gonna find it. And so I gotta know how to deal with that type of stuff. Like if I gotta ask myself, am I willing to deal with that? Because there's a lot of women, in the past, like even female bodybuilders that they probably separated themselves from doing that, but this stuff is there. So I mean, it depends how I feel about the person. I can't I ain't gonna say yeah and I ain't gonna say no.
Hmm. I think it's one thing because you got to think about it. With women, they are more focused because even though guys do it too, but the women get most attention because, like when you watch porn, you really pay attention to the guy too much. You pay attention to the girl. You know, like my mind says, like if I watch a porno, I'm the guy, and I'm in his place. I'm him. It's like for me, it's like an
I know
exchange.
what you're talking about. I
Yeah,
know.
yeah, yeah. Because it's not like you see like you sit off the side and watching. It's like you are performing with that woman, and she's doing the stuff that you think is doing it to you. Some guys like to do that. The cockhold thing when you're watching another man bang the girl. Nah, I couldn't do that. Or the lesbian porn where the guy sitting off in the corner. Hey, I got a rule. I'm either fucking one of you or both of you. I'm not gonna sell from because hey, why I need to do something by myself? Why I got two women right there. One, you got to do something for me. But yeah, I think it's about how you feel comfortable with how people interact with her, especially as guys, and some women do too. Also, watch the industry. They might say, "Hey, wow," especially if your friends say, "Hey, man, you know who she is, what she does. I mean, come on, she's been here, there, and stuff. I've seen. We watch her stuff back in the day." The thing is, if you are comfortable, saying that that's what she used to do. She doesn't do it anymore. It was just like any other job. It made some money, but that stuff's out there for all the world to see. From you can see, on the internet and then all social media platforms. She
It's
might
kind
do
of
interviews.
humiliating though, in a certain way, because people see they're not going to really like look at her serious in a certain. I mean, it's tough to kind of say, you gonna handle it, and you're not really you ain't really experienced that. You can't. That's what I'm saying. I don't know whether I would say yeah, and I don't know if I would say no.
Hmm.
It depends how I feel strongly about. But her stuff is there, and people see it.
Yeah. It's unavoidable because, like I said, once it's out there, there's no way you can pull it back. Like I remember, I think it was a while back. I was interviewing a lady. She said she has stuff out there, but she knows it's out there, but there's nothing she can do about it. She just has to accept it
Yeah.
because it's she did what she did because at the time she wanted to make money, especially she was a competitor. It was a way to make some change. Wasn't that long ago we had that discussion about the whole thing with the Manion family where women was suing them for sexual harassment, stuff like that, and they had pictures and videos and stuff out there. Nothing really risque, just basically, you know, you know, you know, stuff. But because on certain sites, those women had got the stink eye for that. But again, that situation you have to be careful. Like remember Vanessa Williams, the singer, she did some like I was watching a video she did interview she did where back in the day when before she won Miss America, she was a young lady. She was working for a photographer. She did some little artistic stuff, and then when she years later after that she won the Miss America title, became the first black woman to win a title, and then stuff comes up. So she had to do a choice. She either had to advocate her title or fight. So she said, you know what?
I think I remember that. That was like
Yeah,
in the 80s, right?
yeah. It was like about she became
Yeah.
the first Black Miss America around about 82, 83, and then
Yeah.
she gave it the title. And then you look what happened to her. She had a great singing career, great acting career. I mean, it's been practically nearly 40 years since that thing happened. A little over 40 years. but it's out there. You still find it. Some stuff is it's it's out there sometimes. I'm gonna pull this little video, and I know, as we know, we are both fan of Women Muscles, and this is something someone sent to me, shared with me. I said, you know what? I know Kia might like this, so we'll pull it up here. And it was sent to me by a lady who I've reached out, hoping I get an interview. She'll sign soon. So here it is.
Someone came to rob me. This is what they said. I'm not a helpless girl. If someone came
Yeah, I seen it. I seen that before. I seen that
Yeah,
video.
yeah. Somebody sent to me today. I said, wow, some of those girls, ooh, I mean, they diesel.
Yeah. They
I
not
mean,
competitors like that. They like fitness. A lot of them they're like fitness influencers
yeah. I
that
think the
like working out.
I think the Asian chick, I think she competes a bit. I know I've seen some pictures and
Yeah.
videos of her. The other ones, yeah, because as you know, right now it called a controversy, but it's not a controversy. It's just some people are pissed about girls with muscles. That site, we talked about that site a while back, where they're posting, a lot of, most of the stuff is mostly from their IG and social media. There's a
Right.
video, yeah, there's a video I put it on my IG a while back. It's a video from the 2016 um Rise of Phoenix. It was a clip from, they did a documentary that year, and it was from the Rise of Phoenix. They talked to Helen Trevino, they talked to Linda Murray, and I posted that clip. And that clip is not now. It has the most views on. It's one of the most views. It's right now. It's up to 7,000 views because I shared it with you know Eunice, my man Jeremy, and also I think I shared it also with uh
Josh.
um Josh and David, because
Yeah.
I know you're not much about the whole bodybuilding thing, because I know thing about Shed, you say now he probably wouldn't want it, but it's really about promotion. Just to recognize that women with muscle can be beautiful, and you don't have to be a
I mean, you
bodybuilder.
been you not to cut you off, but you always been saying that about. I mean, since I've been knowing you. I mean,
Yeah,
you've been advocating for that. I mean, it's nothing new. I mean,
yeah, that's new, and that's why I said I'm going to be advocate, because some of the astonishing women, like I said, get going to Tampa uh last year and meeting some of these ladies, going to Savannah and meeting some, and then there's content, even have some ladies meeting him here in North Carolina. you know um I really, it's again, that's what really fuels me, because I don't have nothing else really. I don't have no kids, I don't got no woman, and the one person I was taking care of, she's been gone for about 6 years. And really, I want to really, just show my respect and my interest in y'all ladies. If you think I'm weird, cool, no have a problem with that. But if you think that what I do is really, helpful in your path, in your interest in bodybuilding, you want to talk about it, share it. Or my man Kia, he also still does interviews here and there. But so again, sometimes some of y'all can be a bit hard headed, you know, not open
Go ahead.
minded.
That,
Yes, I'm trying to be
that's the
nice.
word you want to use. I don't, like,
I'm
but you
trying to
could
be
go ahead.
nice. I'm trying to
Yeah.
be nice. I'm trying to be nice. I could be a little. I could get a little worse, but same time I have to be diplomatic when I choose my words wisely.
Okay.
But yeah, it can be a pain in the ass too. That's also that. But again, is who is paying attention to your sport? Who is talking about your sport? Like, other than my guys like myself, David, Jeremy, the Female Body Channel, a couple others here. Claudia just saw he did an interview with Kelly Harkins. And, Kelly's a nice lady. She's doing something for a sport, trying to give it a fighting chance, you know. But, you know, this sport is like Raheem said, like somebody needs to step up, you know.
I mean, sometimes, I mean, for me, not sometimes, I always have these thoughts like I really don't care, about what happens because it's their responsibility. If they don't want to do it, like who's going to do it? I mean, I can't talk for them. I can't do that. I can't do what no disrespect you do or anybody else. Me, my thing was I just used to like posting the women with muscles, and even with that can be a pain in the ass with me at times. But there's moments that I would say that I do enjoy doing it. Like if I see an attractive woman, I want to showcase it, on my channel because I didn't really have much to showcase on YouTube. I think for me, for me like on the internet, it female muscle, it gave me it was kind of relevant for me. But then after a while, it do gets corny, and then especially when you try to reach out to these women and they kind of flake out on you, and it's not everybody, there's some cool ones, but there's a lot of them. They do the same thing, they act like they're interested, waste your time, and you know I mean, I've met, some female bodybuilders, and sometimes it wasn't a big deal, meeting them. Some of them I've met in other places besides bodybuilding shows. But I've had mixed feelings, like over the years, and then you put yourself out there, people see you like friends, and they be like seeing your stuff on the internet, and they they know that you're interested in these things, you know.
Yeah, like I went to Atlanta to visit Thanksgiving. My sister went to Atlanta with my sister to visit my niece for Thanksgiving, and then a new lady who was down there, Christine Ware. We hanged out. We worked out together. Me and her and her husband went out and ate together. It was a great experience for me. So I even met her coach, who's also a bodybuilder. Met some other people there. You know, it's great to get in contact with some of these ladies and talk about their thoughts, their feelings, what drives them, the passion for the sport, and also just to talk with it, just as a fan, you know.
Is it always worth it though? At times, like,
Well,
is it to a point where you like it does it that I don't know the word I want to how to say it, like, but do you feel like you gain things from doing it, like gain a lot,
well,
if I can ask you
I get,
that?
well, I feel like I gain some things. I get to know somebody. I get a friend out of it. I get some knowledge, information, especially when doing my content. And also, these people are often will give me information that usually unless you are in their world, you wouldn't know. Sometimes that information helps, it benefits you, especially also when you deal with other women, because if you understand what their sport about and what they're about, then they're more willing to sit and talk with you. Like I said, everybody's going to find something they can use, especially when it comes to doing content or just really just just being around people and talking. And it's just each story's everybody's experience is going to be different.
Mm.
Yeah,
What to say? Well,
yeah, yeah. It's like I say, it's a lot. It's like I say, anything. If anything worth having, you got to work at it. If you're willing to work at it after a while, and if you enjoy what you do, that's one thing. You have to enjoy what you're doing. And I enjoy what I'm doing because, like I said again, it gives me a purpose. It gives me something to talk about, a subject that I'm a fan of, and also at the time, as I always say, it was something that was helping me during my process taking my mom. And after she was gone, what else was there for me? I mean, again, I don't have kids, I don't have a woman.
you,
I do,
but the
you
way,
know,
not to cut you up, but the way you say it, it's like you invested your heart, your mind, and soul for it. I mean, there's other things that you. I'm not saying that you need to stop. I'm just saying that I'm sure probably you didn't you I mean, you still living. I mean, in a sense where you wouldn't. How would you know that's your full purpose? Maybe there's other things that you probably could explore
the
outside of
thing
that.
is,
I'm not saying
well,
that you should stop doing it. That's up to you. But when you say it's your purpose, you know it. It's almost like, oh, I'm here. Me loving female bodybuilders and doing the interviewing them. I don't know, like the way you
well,
say it seemed
well,
like that's where you came in the world for that, and
well, that's the,
you don't know what you came in the world for.
that's the thing. No one knows where the world comes from. And I say, it, it gives me purpose because, like the thing is, you never know what that thing is
It's
going to be
just
that's
a
going to.
hobby. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
But
Like
like
in a
say, some
sense, I
some
mean,
some people some people take their hobbies as some hobbies can be more than just a hobby. You start out, hey, I'm just doing this as a side, but then you invest your time into it, you invest your life into it. Like I said, I'm not invest my life into it. It's something I enjoy doing, and again, it does give me a purpose. It gives me something to do. What else is there to do other than
that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Like the way you say it, it's like what else there to do? Like that's the only thing for you to do.
But the thing
You
is,
could.
yeah, what else? That thing is, if I
What
find something,
can I ask you something? Like,
yeah,
but like outside of, I know you played football at time, but were there other hobbies outside of female bodybuilders that you did?
I
Like,
used
did
to
you
play.
like to write? Did you like to do like creative things? I remember you told me that you used to like I think like you did like a talent show and you was in front of people telling jokes or something like that.
Yeah, yeah, that was a
I,
long
I,
time ago. You know, I used to collect comics. Uh, stuff like that. Not much. Like I said, some people find something that they like, and they just kind of get addicted to it. It's you can try to find something else, but then if you don't have the same feeling for it, you don't invest as much into it, then it's not the same as the thing that you are investing into right now. I can find something else. I could, but then does it give me a feeling to it? Does it give me a purpose to it? Is it worth my time? If it's not, then it'd be wasting my time to get something that I know I'm not going to be interested in after a while. I've done things in the past that I was interested for a while, but then after a while, um, I just say, you know what, I'm not. I like to say, use click comments, and after a while, it was hard to get comics because I used to get it from Walmart or used to be a comic store around in the next town over. When I used to get a ride and my mom go uptown or someplace. I used to get them, but then most places don't sell them anymore. It's hard to find them like used to. Little things here and there I used to do, but then after a while they either because times change and when certain things don't be as active as it used to be. It's just But this is something that I understand. The more I get into it, and the more I invest into it, and and follow the stories and talk to the ladies, and they send me information. You know, it's just like I said again. Everybody finds something that really gives them a drive or a purpose. Just like these ladies do bodybuilding, it gives them a drive or a purpose. They do have life outside of that, but like when I was talking with Kayla Larkin, she said she she's a mother, she's a businesswoman, and also she's versatile. But bodybuilding is something that's hers, and that's why she enjoys doing it because it's something that's just not Kelly who's just the mother and who's the businesswoman. She's Kelly the bodybuilder.
Mhm. I mean, I hear you. I hear what you said.
Yeah, yeah. You know,
I just, for
everybody.
me, I mean, I don't, I try. I mean, you know, I,
Like I said,
I don't know. I mean, I can't say, that this is my purpose. I still out exploring.
yeah.
I think, it just the thing with me, it just gave me a reason to be on social media,
Hmm.
and to say at times, I want to do other things. I don't want to just be focusing on them because I see how, and I'm not saying all, but a lot of these women are like you you have to like invest in them, and I don't feel like doing that. I don't want to do that. I just, yeah, I do admire female muscle. I do, but not to a point where, I gotta kiss your ass or try to like, try to invest my time on you and then you don't really appreciate it, or you know, it because a lot of these women they just don't, I hear, I be hearing things, especially too, and I'm seeing it for myself as well. They're not, they don't care, they're unappreciative. A lot of them are very selfish. I
Hmm.
see that.
Well, bodybuilding is a selfish sport, but some of these ladies, not all, some are very
It's not a
appreciative.
good selfish though. That's what
Well,
it
that's
ain't
the
a good
thing is
selfish. It
when you,
affects
you when
people that don't like understand to understand their sport, and they perceive them, they look at them like in a negative way. That's what probably the reason why people don't really like care or show no interest. Even the fans, like even these so-called fans, schmoes, how you want to put it, you know
well
they
here
don't, a
with
lot of them
Schmoes,
don't go to their shows. They don't go
but
to
here's
these
the thing.
women's shows and stuff like that.
Here's the thing. How it's like this. Most of these guys are more about the muscle than about the sport. Like yourself, you're more about the women muscle, not about the sport. And everybody's experience with dealing with somebody, if you especially if you're somebody in their lives, it can be hamper, it can hurt relationships because you are focused on a goal. It's no different if you are an athlete in a professional sport where sometimes you have to train. Like right now, the Super Bowl just ended, the football season is over, and now they have the off season where they have the next 4 to 5 months till it starts back up again for football. But still they have to be protective of their health. Still have to be cautious of what they eat, what they do. Because you never know, because what could happen. There used to be back in the
But
day
people don't.
where
People, I think it's a difference. Not. It's a difference between mainstream sports and the sport that these women do, because people don't understand it.
yeah,
They
that's the
they
thing is,
don't, like the average
but
person. They don't understand it.
every sport,
Where
most like I said,
the mainstream sports, people do understand it.
well, there's some mainstream. Some people don't understand some mainstream sports. Like some people don't understand soccer that much because it's more of a sports very popular in certain countries, but still in America it took a long time for it to get recognized. Other sports like if you look at what's that one? You know, uh, it's the uh golf that even though it's been around for a long time, people don't get excited about it. It's big sport, but it's just guys walking, for about 2 or 3 hours for 18 holes, and hitting balls. Each sport is going to have their fans and the people that are passionate about it, and some people are not as into it as as most or some are. It's just when you get into it and you really find a passion for it, interest for it, then it's just you just really pull yourself into it. And sometimes you do. And I say I'm no kiss ass. I try to be respectful, understandable. If we don't work out here, I'm not gonna bug at you. I'm not gonna hold your hand or move on. Or focus on
Sometimes you
people.
do.
Nah,
Sometimes.
nah, nah,
There's
nah, not
times you
sometimes.
do.
Nah, sometimes.
There's times you do.
Nah,
There's
nah, no,
times
no,
you
no,
do.
no, brother,
Not
brother,
all
don't.
the
Hey,
time.
hey, brother,
Not
hey,
all
brother.
the time.
Yeah, nah, nah. I
Not all
don't.
the time, but
Nah,
there's
don't say that
times you
all the
do.
time. No,
Okay.
I'll
All
be
right. All
nice.
right.
I'll be
If you
pleasant because
say so.
I'm a nice person. But
Yeah.
same times, because like I said,
Yeah.
that's how
There's
it
times
plays.
you do, but I'm gonna leave it alone. I'll
Yeah,
leave it
you just leave
alone.
it alone. Yeah, you better careful. Yeah, you just my shit.
Yeah.
Me,
Okay.
big
Yeah.
prospect. You know,
Okay.
but the thing is, you have to, like I said, you have to be understandable. That's one thing. Because sometimes, you know,
I try to. I try to understand it. I mean, like, it's not like I ain't tried, but at the same
yeah,
time, like, I'm not gonna like invest my time in you not. And again, I gotta say it. It's not everybody,
yeah,
but it's a lot that they don't seem appreciative to it, and so that's why maybe the stuff that they going through they just have to deal with it. They not being responsible. I know some of them are trying to do, what they need to do to keep it alive or whatever. But a lot of them they seem like they ain't really show that much interest. Or I don't know. I don't know what's behind the scenes, but people are not being interested on it you know, like with women's bodybuilding. They not.
yeah. Mm. Well, like I said, you're gonna have some people not interested, people who are, and some people just, as again, they're just a fan of particularly of the muscle, not as much as the sport. There's gonna always be different factors to it. Yeah. Well, here's a lady that we both have a guest on in the past, and she decided to switch to another division. And I got to meet her when I was in Tampa. She was there. She's working one of the booths, and that is Bruna O'Connor. And Bruna is
Mhm.
now she's switching over to fit model.
Fit model. Oh,
Yes, fit
okay.
model. Because she
I
was trying to
mean,
get a she was trying to get a pro card as a bikini competitor, but now she's doing fit model. I would say congratulations. I think it might work better for her,
yeah.
because I think she's I got to, we talked a bit and we took a picture together. She's a nice lady, respectful. She works as a firefighter, she works as a nurse. And the thing is, also, that's a job where it can be a lot, because you're taking care of people. She also deals with sick kids because we
Is
both
she
are
still
into it.
doing that? Or
Yeah, she's still doing the nurse thing.
no,
Yeah.
the firefighter thing.
No, remember she been quit the firefighter because she had
Yeah.
issues. 'Cause she's been done quit that long time ago.
Yeah,
She's having.
yeah. The way you were saying it, like she's
Yeah.
currently doing it.
No, no, I would say she's been a firefighter. She's a nurse,
Oh,
and now she's been competing for quite a few years. A while back, her husband he retired from the fire department, and to take care of their
mm,
son, who's he's autistic. You know,
yeah.
I, I didn't meet the boy. He wasn't there. I think because he's autistic, it's too much that crowd, especially if you're someone who's autistic. Especially a child.
Mm,
She's a lady we both have been in contact with before. It was a great opportunity to meet her when I was in Tampa. And you
well,
were at
that's
a
good that you know that.
yeah, you were at an event because you know what he was at an event. I think was it last week? Was it Velvet Row? Was it week for last? And he hooked me up with uh Trap Queen.
Tina Trap Queen, Tina
Yeah, yeah,
Fernandez.
yeah. We had a good interview. I think he interviewed her. I interviewed. I think David interviewed her, and her story about she's really about her family, her kids. That's why she does what he does because she want to make sure they're taken care of.
Mhm.
Like she said in the interview, her upcoming show is going to be the Emerald Cup. That's going to be, I think, in about another 2 or 3 months. And her daughter's going to also make her bodybuilding debut. But Tina, like I said again, she is an amazing lady. I got to give her respect for what she done. I mean, getting sport. Like she told how her dad wanted her to be. Even though she had two brothers, her dad wanted her to be the athlete in the family. But she did it for a good bit. But then she switched over to bodybuilding after she had her kids. But I like we were talking a while back where she did she just was one guy that she follows. He I think she took one of his videos and shared it, but then she told me that she didn't like it. He didn't like her sharing her stuff. But I mean, it's funny because you know what? I mean, we talk about how guys. I don't. Me, and you, we see Tina. We look at her. What do we see? Not just muscle, but I mean,
He's attractive. I mean, there was this dude like I think you shared his video, but he's like he talks about the steroid usage of the sport, and he was saying that he was talking about stuff about her, certain things. I don't know. He was saying the steroid usage is not good, and or a lot of things. It's not just her, but it was other people. You know, the dosage these women use, certain things that they're using, they probably shouldn't be using. You know,
yeah.
so
But there's more steroid use in the mainstream sports, like football, basketball. MMA fighters use it, and also there's different type of steroids. Some are used for birth control. Some are used for people dealing with arthritis, people dealing with cancer. Yes,
yeah,
some women
you
use.
say that a lot, George. I
Yeah,
know.
well, because that's what it is. You can look at the medical researches, sources,
I would
but
like for you to have a conversation with this guy because no offense, but he seemed like he knows what he talking about because he actually was in the sport and he was talking about he was using steroids as well.
yeah. Well, what is he? Is he the guy who talks about how he was a bodybuilder, but then he stopped competing?
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. He got
yeah,
tattoos on his neck and all that stuff. He said
yeah.
that he's what's her name? Elaine Mulan, the one you interviewed, I forgot her
Elizabeth
name.
Elizabeth Malini.
Uh,
Malini.
yeah, yeah,
Malini.
that he's related to her,
Mm.
and he was even calling her out a bit, not like viciously. He doesn't do it viciously. He just like point things out. He even tells people not to DM them. He just like look at it in a scientific way. He breaks things down. Certain things I don't even, you know, he, he, that certain things he talk about like the human body and stuff. But yeah, he tells about the drugs, like the drugs the women do, and then he talks about the side effects that causes like that occurs. Like bumps, like certain like facial hairs a bit, receding hairlines. He talks about that. He points it out. He doesn't do it like viciously. Oh, they look like a man and stuff. There's things that he'll say like he don't understand. How guys be interested in when these women using these steroids and stuff. But to each
Well,
his own. Like
yeah.
so.
It goes back to internal preference. Like you asked me what got me into it because, well, for me, it was the magazines. Because like I said, I grew up in the '80s, and the guys were the one things that were into because I was a good area. You had He-Man was on, Thundercats were on. The big muscle guys. My brother used to work out and train and use the magazines to help him in his training. But then when especially when you get into your teenage years, and you see something that's different from what it is the norm. Like I said, I'm in North Carolina. Women around here are a little bit not as muscular. There's some women who are in good shape, but not as muscular. Bodybuilders. Just different type of women. Most of them are farming women. They grew up, working the fields or working a farm. And they built different. It's a bit sturdy. But then you see someone like Rich McLeish or Carla Dunlap or Corey Everson in the magazine, or um, you know, um, Sue Price, who I've interviewed. She's a lovely lady. Um, Kay Baxter. Remember Kay Baxter back in the day? She was just what. But if she did, like I said, you remember that guy we talking about Oham, talking about how she stepped away because of what happened to her back in the Olympia back, I think was 86, 85, where she decided that she wants to step away, but then she was planning to come back, but then she got in the accident and got killed. It's just, there's always going to be those people who know what's going on in sport, and those people who are like ourselves, who are outsiders, who are learning about what's going on in sport. And that's a good way to have a good back and forth. From the information I know, you can share me the information you know. Because again, it's up to that person. Like we're looking at young people who say you should be smarter. Like we're talking like me, Eunice, David. We're talking about this young girl named Paula Ranta. She's supposed to be making her winning bodybuilding debut at the Triple O. She's just I met her. She's just I think she'll be 27 this year. I would say like this: test your fit and how you do in that division. Don't do it. Take a break. Step away from it. Go live your life, and you can always come back because it's not going anywhere time soon. And again, you can always have people who's going to um, denigrate these women for who they are, going to talk shit about them, and then you have people who understand that you gotta be smarter when you get into sport. Use the right chemicals and stuff like that. Some ladies don't even use it year round. They use it till it's time for competition time. They just need it just for that time. Usually off season, but then there's some that do use it year round because they want to feel like they just the body dysmorphia when it comes to bodybuilding.
Mm.
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
Yeah.
But you was focusing on Tina, on she's attractive. Yeah, she's
Yeah, she's
attractive.
attractive. Yeah, she's attractive. She got 3 kids. Her. They love her and they support her. we, you always want to know about the. I mean, we should check on what her daughter's cookies are like. I mean, Girl Scout cookies are selling right this time of year.
Yeah.
Oh, you have Girl Scouts around that way?
I remember, yeah, I remember they the Girl Scout cookies. Yeah.
Yeah,
But it
my sister used to be a
wasn't often.
yeah, my sister used to be a den mother. Even though her son, but she worked in school, and they often
No.
had the teachers help with the Girl Scouts. You know,
Mm,
I mean, we used to see a couple boxes one time. We had to pay her back, but
mm.
that was a long time ago with kids. Those things are like crack.
Yeah, it was that good, huh?
Oh, back then, oh my God, it used to be bigger too. The
Yeah.
cookies they used to be like cookies now, like about maybe just a little bit bigger than a quarter. Usually back then they'd
Mm,
be like about as big as your palm of your hand. You know,
mm,
get a big old box. Get some cookies and milk. Ugh, I don't know.
mm.
I gotta do some running around next week. If I see a group of Girl Scout cookies, set of cookies, I don't know. I'm gonna buy a couple of boxes. I'm tempted. I'm thinking about. I said again. I'm thinking about going back into the gym. You know, because like I said, I'm planning on going on a trip. And I want to be in a better